Welcome to the Rob. The Rob and KO Podcast. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
KO Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and KO Podcast.
Let's go.
I'm not ashamed no more. Head up to the upstairs. I want to do the thing that you love. Never did before, girl. Baby,
I need a miracle ear to listen to you when the show starts, Rob.
Why is that?
Well, now I don't.
Oh, okay.
Your volume was turned? Your volume was turned down, or maybe mine was. I don't
know. Okay.
I don't know wherein the snafu lied.
All right. Well, I don't know. Are you happy now?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Okay. What is that hat you're wearing on your head? Is that a Carolina mudfish hat? What is that?
This is a Carolina mudfish hat. We were talking about this the other night, so I brought it out of the closet.
Okay.
Look, I came in here today. I had kind of some of my sports stuff in this room.
Right.
There's the other hat I was talking about. That is the 1994 Albany Polecats version. It's pretty plain, but it's a nice, crisp, clean design.
Why don't they just call them the Skunks instead of the Polecats? Is there a difference?
Well, sir, I mean, because that doesn't sound, because Polecat sounds cute and cuddly.
Okay.
Skunk just sounds like, well, it smells bad.
Okay, but if you run up on a polecat, it's going to stink.
Now, I'm in the mood for some beaver.
Got a lot of hats there, buddy.
I do. I'm a man of many hats. I told you I was the people's YouTuber.
You are. All right, so what exactly do you want to get into this evening? I mean, it looks like the transfer portal's closing up. We're going to start to be able to see here soon who's got what on their rosters, right?
Yes, we are, and that'll be good because you can start kind of doing some preseason or doing some season predictions and stuff like that. I don't normally start mine until about midway through the summer, and every year it seems like it's less and less of the ones I get to do. But I'm gonna try to knock out as many as I can this year. At least teams people are interested in, you know.
I look forward to your preview of Presbyterian, sir.
Okay. Well, I mean, theirs should be pretty short, and it won't take a lot to gather it up get the information because there's probably not a lot out there. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do a good one of those, I mean, it takes about an hour or so of research. Seriously, and that's even with having a magazine and all that stuff at your disposal too. So, and you got to go up. You look up articles and stuff on the team's 24/7 sites and all that. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a painstaking process if you want to do a good one. If you want it to be shit, I mean, it can take you 15 minutes, but it's not going to be any good.
So Jackpot will have previews up in July. Those are coming your way right here on the channel. Make sure you check that out. We've also got still got college baseball going on, Jackpot. Gamecocks aren't playing too terrible. Clemson's one of the top 10 teams in the country.
Gamecocks are probably about to run rule East Tennessee State. I think is that only in conference games or is that in the midweek games too?
I think it's only in conference games.
Okay, well they're beating them like 14-2 in the fifth inning or sixth inning, something like that. So safe to say, I think we got this one in the bag.
Well, those midweek games can be tough, man. I mean,
they can
drop one and look silly.
They can, but you can look dumb too. And some of our best teams that we've ever had lost midweek games. I'm like, dude, how the fuck did we lose to Francis Marion one year? I mean, that's one level. That's one level above club baseball.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they play on a high school field, and that's just wow, unbelievable. We lost to Gardner Webb. One of those years that we won the College World Series too in the midweek. I took Jackpot Jr. to see that.
Yeah.
When I lived over in Boiling Springs near Spartanburg, Jackpot Jr. and I went, I think it was in 2010 or maybe 11, or yeah, it was probably 2010. Maybe it was 2009, dude. I don't know. I get all these years mixed up. But we went to the little field over there at USC Upstate and saw the Gamecocks play them. That was back when Jackie Bradley was on the team. And we beat them like 15-6 or something. So, yeah.
Well, that's something to look forward to is the rest of college baseball. We'll see how that goes out. One of the teams that is big in that transfer portal has been Colorado. I looked at some of the guys that they brought in. I mean, it's almost like Dion Sanders just goes and gets a new team every year. It's kind of how it looks, you know? I mean, he's got transfer after transfer after transfer coming into that.
I put out a video about him a while ago about that, and I talked about the Gamecocks transfer portal editions. And I talked about him. I'm 100% off that hype train, and that $20 or whatever it was I spent on that T-shirt last year that said we're going to party like it's 1990. Yeah, that was the biggest waste of $20 I ever spent in my life because I cannot support that anymore. I mean that program it's an absolute media circus.
Right.
It's a circus. It's a shit show. You got dudes transferring out of there and talking shit about him. You got Deion Sanders on Twitter fighting with 18-year-olds. You got Deion Sanders fighting with his ex-wife, airing their dirty laundry on Twitter for the whole world to see. I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to tweet or do you want to coach? Make your mind up. I mean, I would trust my program as much as I've bitched and moaned about him. I'd trust my program in Shane Beamer's hands way more than I'd trust it in his hands. I mean, he's just like the type of individual. I could just see him like up and quitting one day. Just up and quit. Fuck it. I've had enough. I'm done. I'm going to the house. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how are you really going to get into an argument with an 18-year-old that don't even play? It's so silly. So silly.
Some of the tweets that are out there are pretty crazy. I'm talking about his son Shador is going to be a top 5 pick. Where are you going? Where your son going? I got time today. And just what a mess. as a coach,
I mean, like saying their sons won't eat that. He's got a pick like 5 teams that he'll play for, or he said something about a pick of 5 teams that his sons will play for. Okay, first of all, you ain't got but one son who's gonna play in the NFL because that one that played at South Carolina, okay. What's he have? One interception in like 10 years of playing college football. He's old as hell anyway. Dude, nobody else is playing. I mean, his other son, maybe, but there again, I mean, I don't know. He never really played against any real quality defenses at the FBS level. Florida, I mean, Colorado didn't play anybody last year that had a real defense. Like maybe, I mean, you could maybe throw Oregon in there. I mean, they played them, and I mean, what happened? I mean, they just
got like
absolutely got destroyed.
Yeah. The replies to Dion's tweet, someone said he's certainly not going on any recruiting trips right now because their recruiting class is ranked 80th in the country, which that's kind of a falsehood because he doesn't give a shit about the high school recruits. He'd rather take other guys that have already been in college and molding them into what he wants, you know?
Well, I got into it wasn't an argument. I commented back on somebody's stupidity in the comment section on YouTube one day that said that high school recruiting is soon going to be obsolete. Well, no, it's not going to be obsolete. I mean, you won't have anybody to stock the transfer portal with if you don't recruit from the high school level. I mean, where the hell are you going to get them from? I mean, that's dumb thinking. I mean, it's obviously always is going to matter.
Oh, goodness. I think that coaches are going to go away from it, though. I mean, they're going to have to spend some of that money on that transfer portal unless they're Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, at least if one thing, look, you can say this too. And Dabo's not using the transfer portal. Well, I mean, that saves Clemson's NIL collective a lot of money that they can pay to some of these recruits, right?
That's one way to look at it. And then there's also the adage of if they're holding, let's say they're holding 15 spots a year across the country for these transfer portal guys, Sweeney's got those extra spots. I mean, it's the same theory, right? You know, I mean, I'm not bringing these other guys in here, so I've got those extra spots each class. Maybe that's one way to look at it.
Well, that's true. I mean, plus, I mean, you know, maybe he can, you know, maybe that's another way that he can get some of those high school guys to stick with him and come there because, you know, they know, hey, somebody from Ohio State's probably not going to get mad and decide to transfer out and come here and take my job. So there's some more ways you can look at it. It's interesting,
right?
Being different sometimes is not always bad.
Well, speaking of different, what Colorado has done is being different. You know what I'm saying? But I think that they've gotten to the point now where they're just a program that is in a constant. Everybody wants to kick their ass, which is why the Oregon coaches got all of their film and all that stuff. I mean, other teams were literally doing everything they could to help them kick the shit out of Colorado because they don't like the way Coach Dion is, you know?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're the most hated team in college football right now.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt.
So there's that. Obviously, we'll take if you want to join the show this evening, there's the link. I'll put it in the comment section again. It's like we're almost in that dry period, Jackpot, where, you know, I've got, like the only sports that you really have out there is the NBA playoffs. Yes, I know the majority of you hate the NBA. We don't have to post that in the comment section every single time. We know. But I mean, it's pretty much that in college basketball right now, or not college basketball and college baseball. pretty much all you got, Jackpot, you know?
Yeah. Vandy Dandy says Dion's mentally incapable of coaching. It's all about him. I don't think he's mentally incapable. I think he's very intelligent. I think his ego is getting in the way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair thing to say too. I mean, Dion's been told he's the man every day since he was, 12 or whenever he got his first offer to go play somewhere. So he walks in and he just thinks that people are still going to think of him as the Deion Sanders that went and ran the 40 and then ran right to a limo at the combine. That's who he thinks he still is, even though he's lost.
Or the Deion Sanders who played defensive back for the Falcons and then got on a 5-seater and flew to Pittsburgh.
But I mean,
the Braves.
He's lost more toes than he has wins at Colorado. That's a true statement. So, I mean,
wow.
What? I don't mean to be morbid, but that's the way that it is. So, I don't know. I think they're the most hated team in college football this year. I think everybody wants to see them fail. So, would you send your kid to play for him?
No, probably not. No,
No,
absolutely not. Mine would definitely want to go play for Dabo if I know anything about him.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't?
But exactly. Octavian's over there in the comment section.
Wouldn't that be like? Let's say that Jackpot Jr. when growing up, he grew up to be this 6'7", 325-pound offensive lineman that runs a 4.2 40 or some ridiculous thing. He looks you dead in the eye and says, "Dad, I'm going to Clemson." That is like the biggest. Wouldn't that be the biggest kick in the nuts ever?
I'd look at him and say, "You're not my son," because when you came out, you turned out to be 6'7". Yeah, I kind of had doubts about it anyway, but now I know. No,
You'd have to look up.
No. I'd absolutely support that.
Yeah, he may not be able to hear you that far down.
110%.
Anyway, Will says he's sending his kid to play for Sunbelt Billy. Okay.
I'm sure he'd be in good hands.
Yeah, why not?
Probably
Go down there and get start. That's kind of the way to do it, right? Go to Miami where you don't it's all about business. Why Miami should be leading in everything because there's no property tax down there. Just saying.
What? Sunbelt Billy's in Florida, sir.
Yeah, well, he's talking about money from Miami too, but.
Oh, okay.
Joseph Hall says my big ass wouldn't make it in the elevation. Very good, sir. Very good. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna give you the link. You want to join the show? As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. I don't really have anything else that's really stuck in my head here, Jackpot, other than everyone hates Deion Sanders, and that's pretty much it. Braves are playing well. That's what I got for the show this evening.
Did they win today?
They won at Seattle. It's still weird for me to see the Braves playing the Mariners or going to the Yankees. Well, because they were in the National League and having those intramural game or interleague games or whatever the hell they call them. It's like, growing up, I didn't see that. And it's like, I'll look and check the box score or whatever. And it's like, man, they played at the Red Sox last night. They're going to play at Baltimore tomorrow. I mean, just seeing them play those.
I mean, it's all during the year too. I mean, some teams opened up with interleague games. You remember? I mean, what was it up to a few years ago? I mean, it was only like during certain weeks, like there was like a big block of nothing but interleague games. Remember? And you didn't play, but just a few teams every year. Now, I mean, you play a bunch of them.
So if we look at just today, I'm pulling it out right now. So just today. Thank you for the sound effects there, Jackpot.
Yeah, this weekend the Braves have played the Guardians.
So the Braves are playing the Mariners. They've won today over them.
Damn Indians.
Giants are playing at Boston. The Nationals are playing at the Rangers. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, you've got the Pirates are playing at the Athletics. Phillies playing at the Angels. I mean, it's like these matchups you would never see unless it was the World Series, but you see them pretty much every year. They're going to play pretty much every team out there. It's just
the Pirates at the fucking A's. Is there under 1,000 people there?
Hold on, I'll pull it up right now. We'll tell you. Let's see. It should have the box score. I'll pull that up right now. Let's see your box score for this game, Pirates and Athletics. Let's see if it gives us the actual attendance. Let's see here. Oh, God. They announced the attendance at 4,600 people.
God, I saw one the other week that was like 2,000 and something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a midday game. I think they're lying about that. I think that's too much. Now, if we look at the Braves game here, where the Braves and the Mariners played, they claim 21,000 fans there, and that's probably close to being right.
They play, what is it, Safeco Field?
T-Mobile Park is where they play now.
Is that Safeco? Is it the same place, though?
It may be. I don't know. Sure.
God,
when they played, that was pretty cool.
But the A's thing with, I don't understand. Like, is it just because Oakland is just such a shithole of a city, nobody wants to go to the games? Or, yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of a dead franchise, and they're planning on moving it, but is it just the stadium so shitty? Why?
Well, last season they had a lot more people that went to games, but this year the owner basically told them, screw you, we're leaving, and we're going to go play in Sacramento. We're going to take the team that's been here forever, and we're going to go to Sacramento. And, yeah, we don't care about the loyalty of the fans and everything else. Now we're going to go to Sacramento. So if you're a fan, you're like, man, why would I go and watch that? In addition to that, the A's they're not a very good baseball team.
Well, they're not horrible. I looked the other day, they were under 500, but it wasn't a lot under 500. I mean,
I think they're like 17. Let's hold on. I think they won today over the Pirates, which, people still care about the Pirates. Let's see here. The A's are currently
were in first place, weren't they?
They were, but they had like a streak where they sucked. But the A's are 15-17, so they're 2 games under 500.
That's not horrendous, dude. It would be fucking awesome if they made the damn playoffs. If they made the wild card or something, like 15 people showed up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now.
It's just so hard for me to wrap my head around. Like when I was growing up, man. When I was a teenager, I mean, they were a dynasty. I mean, they had some really, really good teams.
Currently, they've won 4 games in a row, by the way, and they're 3.5 games out of the wild card. So it's early. It's 31.
We got wild card standings in damn May.
Yeah, just saying they're only 3.5 games out. I mean, they could be like the White Sox. The White Sox are 6-25. So we're not that.
Let's see. Is there anywhere I can go to place a wager still, or even since the season started? Do you think there's anywhere I could go to place a wager on them making the playoffs?
Yeah, I know they let you do it at the All-Star break.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, in the All-Star break, if they're still somewhat in contention, I'm putting a bet on them making the playoffs.
Well, their run differential's at 32, so they're minus 32.
Okay, I mean, you divide that up over how many games they play. That's not much.
Not much.
There's still some juice left in the tank.
Yeah.
They have any players on their team that I would know? I mean, probably not.
There's nobody on that team that I know of. They got a bunch of youngins. Mark Kotze's the manager. So
he used to play for what? The Padres?
I think he played for the A's.
Oh, maybe he did.
So, all right. Well, there you go. There's our talk. Are you watching the NBA playoffs at all, Jackpot?
No, not really so much, but I'll probably watch it at some point. How are they looking? How is it exciting?
It's fun to watch Jokic, the big Russian guy that is like 7'2" and doesn't jump but maybe 2 inches off the floor and doesn't really run the floor but just completely dominates the game. That's pretty fun to watch. So there's that. I don't know. It's fun to watch that. Watch Anthony Edwards play a little bit, but I don't know, man. It's just I don't like the. I mean, I still like the NBA, but not like when I was growing up and like you had all these, just so many great players. Now it's like, Okay,
Blake just said the Cox run rule, and I did hear the TV in there playing that song. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The SEC network music that like it's going to commercial or going off. So yeah,
right.
we beat that ass. Great. Love to see it. What did I want to talk about tonight, sir? Yeah, I don't know if anybody else listened to the Uncle Lou morning show the other day, but they're having the Slob Olympics this year in 2025. He's doing a Slob cruise. We got a group rate actually booked on a 3-night cruise, and I'm going. Paid my $50 deposit fee to go on the Slob cruise to get an ocean view room for this 3-day cruise. This should be exciting.
I thought you would get one of like the rooms that has like a window, but it's actually like an HD TV that just shows like it shows a fake view. You're getting an actual real view.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I've never been on one before. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to do that. I mean, it wasn't that much. I mean, I think it was $900 for that. And you have like forever to pay it off before it's finally paid for. So, why the fuck not? I mean, it's leaving out of Florida, right down below Daytona on a Friday afternoon. You're going to cruise to the Bahamas, get out there on Saturday morning, play around for a day and a half, get on the ship, come back to Port Canaveral, Florida, and go home. Sounds like fun.
I mean, are you taking the wife with you?
Yeah, I was planning on it.
Good. So there you go. Will says he put his deposit down. Hopefully his college doesn't fuck him for missing 2 days of class. Price isn't bad. Yeah, okay.
Octavian says we're going to win 3 games. Okay.
3 games. I mean,
things are just delusional.
Well, I mean, I think early lines have you winning at least 4 or 5. So
the Vegas odds have South Carolina at 5.5, and it's right now. The last time I looked, I haven't looked lately, but it was juiced to the over. Believe it or not. So, some people, and I was in an argument with a Mizzou fan when I made that video. Well, it wasn't the video I made yesterday about them, their success that they've risen to, and that, how that kind of chaps my ass a little bit. But it was on the SEC Unfiltered, of the thing that Chris Phillips, the former Spurs Up Show dude, does now. His best case scenario for them is like 11-1 as a record. Yeah, seriously, 11-1, and the worst case is like 8-4. And somebody was arguing with me about their win-loss record, and I said, "Dude, Vegas has you at 9.5 wins over under, and it's juiced heavily to the under." I said, "So, I don't think you're winning 9 games." I said, "I think you go 8-4 or maybe 9-3. Well, Vegas is wrong. Last year we went 10-2. I said, "Yeah, Vegas is also right a hell of a lot more than they're wrong." So
yeah, and they were right about you the year before when you went 6-6. So when you lost to who was it, Navy or whatever, or Air Force, they lost to Air Force in the bowl game. They were right about Mizzou then. So that's. Look, other than the 10-2
That was,
season,
it was Army. What that was Army, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's some
Yeah.
service academy. Look, the whole thing with that is, what has Mizzou done besides beat South Carolina and have that 10-2 season? Yeah, I know they played well, but in the end, you had one great.
They played decent against Georgia. The hell, South Carolina played decent against Georgia. Perhaps they beat up on Tennessee. I guess that was kind of their benchmark victory of the season. But you also got to look, the next week they played Florida, who was a terrible team, and they barely got out of their own stadium with a win against them. You know, it was like, I think they won like 37-30 or something. I mean, and Brady Cook had to complete like a 4th and 16 pass, and they picked up like 17 yards. I mean, it was that close. They played Vanderbilt, didn't exactly demolish them. I mean, they won, they had a pretty good win at Kentucky. I mean, that was a pretty decent win. Who'd they play out of the SEC West?
Look,
LSU, they lost.
I think people seem to forget that people wanted the dork fired. You know, there were people talking about, hey, this guy needs to hit the doors, but then he pulls out the 10-win season. So they weren't. It's not like they're a world-beating program. You know what I mean? So
no, it's not. And Arkansas at the end of the year, I mean, yeah, they beat the shit out of Arkansas, but I mean,
but who didn't? Everybody beat the shit out of Arkansas.
Yeah, except for Mississippi State, who beat them 7-3. And Florida, who lost to them, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That got me hot as hell. If they they could beat Florida in the swamp, but we lost to those motherfuckers
At home.
At home, yeah, very embarrassing.
Yeah,
very. But that's what we do.
There you go with that. I don't know. I think that Mizzou's really like a house of cards. I really believe that. And I don't they may win 7 or 8 games this year, but man, 9.5 is a huge number. It really is.
They do play a kind of a bullshit schedule. So
they do. Like, why are they playing a road game at Boston College? Like, they've done that in the past.
Not at Boston College. They play at UMass.
Yeah, but they've had Boston College on the schedule is what I'm saying.
Oh, they do?
They have in the past.
Yeah, they played at Boston. I think they play BC this year at home. And they play at UMass. So there are two, what the fuck, dude? There are 2 FBS teams in the state of Massachusetts, and fucking Mizzou plays both of them. Who else can claim that? That's crazy. I think they play like Buffalo, I think, also, which is, they're not very good anymore.
They want to be Kentucky and play all those MAC schools, but they don't want to be called Kentucky, so that's why they're scheduling UMass and Boston College. Maybe that's the way it is.
Yeah, you want to be a Mark Stoops team without the benefit of having a Mark Stoops. But I mean they've had a good little run. So I mean I ain't gonna hate on them too much, but I think somebody was talking about, but they may be favored on the road at Bama. Okay, yeah,
no, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no. What's it? The Paul Feinbot? Is that going to happen? Is that happening, Paul? No. Alabama.
Can you imagine paying, I don't know, $800 for an NBA playoff ticket, and then you go and your team is winning by 40? Boston's at home. They're beating Miami right now by 40 points in the fourth quarter.
I was looking at something the other day on Twitter. It was the gates, like the dollar amount of the gates of WrestleMania, WrestleMania 1 through 50, and how it had, how it like was really high at first, and then like it kind of in the 90s, those gates kind of started waning a little bit. Did you know that the shittiest live gate and pay-per-view buys and all that they had for WrestleMania was WrestleMania 13 in 1997, which was like when shit just really started to get hot, that's when they turned Stone Cold babyface. If you remember at that WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
which was like what kicked them into like kicking WCW's ass and putting them out of business. You remember that?
Yeah.
The match against Bret Hart.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how that stuff works out with all the pay-per-view buys and everything
Yeah.
else, you know?
But I was looking at like the one that had the most pay per view. Well, not pay per view buys because I mean now you got the cock and everything, which they say that's going to go away like in a couple of years or
Yeah.
something. And when it starts, it's going to stream. The WWE shit's going to stream on Netflix, but now they're saying that that's just for overseas.
No, all streaming on Netflix. That's it. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think if they wanted to really make more money, they'd probably go back to having pay-per-views. But like I wouldn't buy it anymore. But there's like a ton of people who've gotten Netflix. How many people have gotten Peacock subscriptions just so they can get that? I mean, it's got to be many multiples of whoever would get pay-per-views.
That would be me. That would be me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, why would you not? Because like the first year I had it, I was like, wait a minute. I'm getting this for free. Because it was when I had the WWE Network, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is like the actual WrestleMania. I think it was the one from New Orleans a few years ago. I'm like, this is actually WrestleMania right now. I'm like, I just paid like $60 for this a few years ago. But anyway, the last one they had at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, and they had the total gross for the gate was like, I can't remember. It was like $9 million, and I divided it up by like 70,000 people. I don't know how much Lincoln Financial Field holds or how many people were there. I just estimated it by 70,000. I was doing a calculator on my cell phone, and to just get an average ticket price, you know how much a fucking average ticket price was that I came up with, and I don't think it was just that far off. $504
for WrestleMania to go to that.
Yes. Now, and I don't know if that was over 1 day or 2 days or what, but yeah, insane.
I mean, you would think that would be. I don't think it would be that high. That's crazy. I guess it depends on where it is. I'm looking at the ticket prices now.
Well, I mean, Philadelphia is a high end market. I mean, that's almost like New York.
So according to WrestlingJunkie.com, $184 is the cheapest ticket on night 2. $189 is the least expensive for night 1, according to this. And then, of course, it goes from there. If you want to go to the Raw after WrestleMania, it was $65. But, I mean, that is their Super Bowl event. I mean, people are going to pay to go to that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I wonder how much WrestleMania 3 tickets were. Let's see if I can find that. Is this like the first WrestleMania?
I'm gonna say for a good seat. I'm just gonna take a wild guess. I'm gonna say for a really good seat, I'm gonna say it's probably like $25.
So, 88,000 tickets sold. Prices from $100, $30, $20, $15, and $9. So you could get in for $9.
Wow. So they had some $100 tickets then at ringside.
What it's saying here on this Substack site, but $100. Yeah, I mean, I guess ringside that would make sense, but I don't know.
If you want to think about that pay-per-view, I've watched that many times over. I mean, like the Randy Savage Macho Man match was like that. I mean, that was like the only really great match on that. I mean, Hogan and Andre, I mean, come on.
They drew the money, though.
They drew the money, but it was like they were just like fucking, just lumbering around there. There's a shoot interview from 2002 with Bobby Heenan that just got uploaded to YouTube like 4 days ago. It's the entire 2-hour-long video with him. This was back when he was still healthy. I think right before he got sick with his cancer. And like Andre, he's like, are you gonna like do the job for him? Like Bobby Heenan, like he didn't know. He said because if the boss wanted to not kick out, and if he wanted to beat Hulk Hogan, he could do it. I
Yeah.
mean, and there's nothing they could really do about it. If he wanted to just drop him and fucking pin him, and I mean, they would have no choice but to make the 3 count there. And I mean, who was going to fucking say anything? Vince McMahon wasn't going to do anything to that dude. So
Yeah.
that would have been crazy, wouldn't it?
It would have been crazy, but
If he just decided to change the finish. He's like, I do what I want to, boss. That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, Andre didn't have to do anything. So
Matthew Goldsmith says Savage and Steamboat was a masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, like Ricky Steamboat has come out like interviews and talked about like he said that like Macho took like an entire legal pad and he wrote out like every move in the match, like whip into the turnbuckle, like reverse off the turnbuckle, arm drag takedown, fireman's carry. I mean, he just had the whole thing laid out. Like he was real meticulous with the way he did stuff, and like DDP has said that about him too. He's like, yo, man, Notch was like, yeah, we practiced all these moves and everything. That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know if I could keep
You wouldn't
track
have thought that about him. He was like real wild and oh yeah. I mean, you just thought he was just really off the cuff, but turns out he was like the most detailed individual ever. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, we're gonna.
Did you see that the Gamecocks picked up a couple of kids in the transfer portal?
Yeah, as a Clemson fan, I don't get to watch the transfer portal. It's like you get to see all this talent that's going to other
you
schools.
Can watch it.
Yeah, but why? I'm not going to get any of it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. It just doesn't. It's a frustrating thing as a Clemson fan to watch.
That's the same reason I watch some of these young people doing porn on my phone at nighttime.
Oh shit. Well, we didn't have to go into that. Well, anyway, we'll keep track of the baseball stuff. We should have more of an idea of where kids are going to go and everything being done here shortly.
Yeah.
So
they picked up a kid from Nevada, a 6'4" wide receiver, which they needed. I mean, they needed somebody with some height because I mean that them wide receiver room looked like a bunch of midgets, except for Nick Harbor, who hasn't been there. He's been running track. So they bring him in, and he's a super senior. So he's got that COVID year. When are we ever going to be done with these players with this damn COVID year? It should be cycling out pretty quick, I would think. After this year, they should be about done, right?
I guess so. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe you just keep getting COVID years if you suck. Maybe that's I don't know.
I don't know, but he's got a year left. So I mean, I think he'll be pretty good for us. I think he can make an immediate impact. The other kid, Vandrevius Jacobs, he's a Florida State kid. That I mean, we're obviously, we're like Florida State's our farm team because this is the second transfer portal kid we've taken from there. We took Gilbert Edmonds from him. We plucked him up back in January, and now we've taken this Vandrevius Jacobs young man. So, I mean, they're just talent coming from Florida State, wants to play at South Carolina. He is a former high 3-star. He didn't play a lot there. He was playing behind Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. So those were some stud wide receivers that he was playing behind. And he's going to come get his chance. I mean, I think he could be developed. He could be a really good player. I watched some of his huddle film. He looks real good.
Yeah, but we don't know until they get out there and start hitting, though. They could be good, could be bad.
Well, I mean, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, he looks like he could be a good player.
Sure. Is that one of the ones you're looking forward to?
Yeah, he's from Vero Beach, Florida. You remember what wrestler was from Vero Beach, Florida?
Sting.
No, I'll give you another guess.
Lex Luger.
Right era, wrong wrestler.
Vero Beach, Florida. I got nothing.
Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor. Oh, okay.
Terry Taylor at first known as Terry Taylor, then went to the WWF and became the Red Rooster, then came back to the to World Championship Wrestling and was. Do you remember he was the in the York Foundation with Dustin Rhodes' ex-wife Terry? Remember she had the little computer thing and she came out there with her gimmick. I don't remember what her name was, but he was like the computerized man of the 1990s, Terrence Taylor. Then I think they called him the Tailor-Made Man. So he had a lot of gimmicks about himself.
Yeah, I remember some of those. He didn't get the gimmick he wanted though. You know what I mean?
Gimmick?
The
No.
boxing gimmicks? No.
No, he wasn't. He he kind of missed his calling, but he was like an executive, I think, in both those companies for a while, and I don't think he was real well liked. Octavian says South Carolina is soft. Okay. Frothy Tavern says he misses adorable Adrian Adonis. Rob, what's your favorite Adrian Adonis match?
Probably the one where he got his head shaved by Roddy Piper.
Well, no, he got his head cut. He got his hair cut by Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Okay, that one. My bad. That one.
That's the only one you remember. Yeah, he was crazy. Do you remember what his finishing move was called? The sleeper that you remember what it was called?
No.
Good night, Irene.
What a horrible name for that.
Yes, he did. I don't know. He had this crazy robe, like he had like this. I don't know, like some makeup and this just weird gimmick. He had this flower shop deal and these pastel colored tights, but then he came out and his robe was like solid black with like gold sequins on it in the shape of an apple. It was like, that said Adonis, New York. This doesn't fit with the guy that's under the robe. It doesn't make any sense here.
No, what a mess that was. Yeah, I remember some of his matches, but not a lot.
Yeah, he was overweight, and I don't know that they said he blamed Vince McMahon on like being overweight or something, like he's putting pressure on him to I don't know to what, but a lot of these people they blame Vince McMahon for a lot of things. I don't know. How you gonna blame Vince McMahon on your addiction to Twinkies, Adrian Adonis? I mean, you're fat. Okay, you're fucking fat. How you gonna blame Vince for that? That's not his fault.
Gotta have somebody to blame, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Harry
easier to
Lane says the age of the robe. I'm gonna tell you who had the best robe. Like, I mean, Ric Flair had some nice robes, but Greg the Hammer Valentine had a beautiful robe at that WrestleMania 3. I mean, it was like a solid black robe with these red sequins, and he had the outline of a hammer on the back of the robe, and had the word "the hammer" spelled out. Man, I bet that thing cost him like $10,000 to get made. And It was nice.
All right, final question before we get out of here. Todd says the best tag team. Do you have your best tag team, Jackpot?
It depends on what era, but I mean I would say, and I couldn't go. I would say, like, in the eras I watched, it's like three of them. I would say it was either the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, or I liked Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
Brainbusters, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I didn't like them, obviously, but then like I as I grew up, like I watched these people and how they work. I mean, I learned to respect them.
I like the Mexicools.
That was that Hoovy and who? Ray?
I don't know who it was, but Vince McMahon had a bunch of Mexican wrestlers, and he decided we're going to put them on lawnmowers and let them ride to the ring, and we're going to call them the Mexicools. And that's not racist. What a shithole.
Yeah. I remember that. Eddie Guerrero was yeah.
No, as far as tag teams go, I mean, I really like the Midnight Express. That would probably be my pick there as far
I
as.
already booked mine, Sergio UGA. I already booked my Slob cruise. Problem is, I paid my $50, and now I'm going on the carnival.com website and putting in our group number and stuff, and it's not pulling up where I paid my $50. And it's not like showing my payment plan. So I'm going to call them tomorrow and try to find out what the hell they're doing there, because somebody else from Carnival called me today and he's like, "Oh, we can book your yeah." I saw it. It was ringing at work, and I looked down, and the thing was it was from Carnival, and I was going to answer it, but then I was like, "No, I can't," because I was sitting here doing something. So I mean, I'd already, yes, I know, I already called and booked it. I called yesterday and talked to a girl, and she booked it. She took my payment and everything. I even went, and she's like, it was weird. It was like they didn't tell me to punch in my number. She's like, I'm going to put you in a secure mode where you can hear me, but I can't hear you, and you're going to enter your debit card number and expiration date. And I did all that. So I paid my $50, but like then I went back in under the account that I had created, and it's not showing where I paid it. I'm sure it's just a hang up or something, but I just want to look and see. And I'm not like in a big hurry to pay the entire thing off. I just want to see that it's legit and I've got it actually booked out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, because I always wanted to go on a cruise, and it's like a 3-day cruise. So that's like a little bit of an introduction to see if I like it or whatever. And then I'll be if I can do one for like a whole week, if I could stand to do it. But yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, seems pretty cool. I don't know how the heck we're gonna do the Slob Olympics physical activities on the cruise ship, but I'm sure we'll find a way.
Yeah. Well, Jackpot, we've had a great show, man.
Oh, did I? And I talked about with the other folks about the potato chips and
Oh yeah.
yeah. I talked to them about. Well, I told them that I was kind of upset because I didn't know if I was going to be able to do the games like I've been doing them, and yeah, I'm changing jobs back. I'm going back to doing potato chips, and that'll be I'll be starting back the Monday after Mother's Day, so a little over a week away. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm stoked about it. Yeah, I've got they're going to get me a decent route, and I'm going to be relieving some dudes for vacation, and you know, this running your own business and being an independent operator thing. There's a few hang-ups. You know, it's kind of a bitch to get your own medical insurance and have to pay your own taxes, but if you're smart with your paychecks and you do these kind of things and you're judicious about it,
Right.
that's a very impressive word for a drunk fat guy this late at night. Judicious about what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, you can make that work, and you'll make money, and you'll be able to pay all your bills, and you'll be much happier. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about it, and I'm just kind of getting out my last week here. So I think once I get back into it, and I'll probably start doing some more videos right off the cuff of the stores, because I know I may have to go and start fixing some stuff right off the bat, and that's fine because hey, I'm here for it. That's what I do. I fix shit. So
You're the fireman.
yeah, they call me the fireman. That's my name.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll join us on Sunday. Maybe Kale will sing some more. With that, the show's a wrap.